So the Rockets hired Ime Udoka, and I think it was the best possible choice of all the options on the board. Now, seemingly the top two choices were Ime and Nick Nurse. Now, I think that Ime was the right choice, although I do understand all the off-court stuff and I do understand some apprehension. Ime has something that no other candidate does, and that's that he seems to be a strict leader. And that is something that every single Rockets fan should have been clamoring for. That should have been priority number one. This guy will make these young kids into grown men on the court. It is something that they desperately lack, and it is now provided through this guy. This head coach was with the Spurs, with the Celtics. He always seems to be very serious, and if you're a Rockets fan, I would hate the immaturity on my team. And I feel like finally they have a grown man in the building, a guy who doesn't play around. There's no room for unprofessionalism with the Rockets. They've already had it for the past, 4 years? I mean, aren't you tired of it if you're a Rockets fan? Like, don't you want to see your young pups start to grow up and be adults, you know? I think Ime definitely provides that. Now, I know what happened off the court, and I know it's not very professional and all that, but unless something was found that was completely illegal or completely out of bounds, I don't see why the Rockets shouldn't have made this hire. You hear Rockets reporters saying that Jalen Green also wants to be held accountable, wants to be pushed, doesn't want a coach that just goes with the flow and, there's no structure. And I completely understand that. That's the only way for growth if you're a young player in this league. Therefore, hiring Ime was the best choice. You have guys like Jason Tatum saying how Ime, of all the coaches he's ever had, that 1 year with Ime by far means the most to him, and even goes as far as to say that that's his favorite coach that he's ever had. That guy had Coach K as his coach. He says that he credits Ime for a lot of his growth on the court. I think that's really encouraging if you're a Rockets fan, because you want those same strides in your young guys. It was embarrassing to hear a guy like Jabari Smith Jr., your number 3 overall pick, say that he doesn't get any plays ran for him in the middle of the season. Like, what the hell? Season's almost over, and you're hearing that your number 3 overall pick doesn't have any plays ran for him? Like, that's embarrassing. It's just nice to feel like there's a grown man in the building who doesn't mess around and is going to hold these young guys accountable. You had guys like John Wall saying that.
But at the same time, I had to tell them, like, the shit y'all getting away with over here, you go to any other teams, you be out the league.
They'll never be successful as long as these things keep happening. So it's awesome to see that they're finally starting to steer the ship in the opposite direction. I like Stephen Silas as a guy, but it's clear he did not know what the hell he was doing. He was not prepared for the moment. I think with Ime, you'll have structure, you'll see more growth in these young guys, and you'll see real roster construction now. I feel like we're gonna see a nicely constructed roster. Like, you'll be able to see the vision more, and you'll be able to understand where they're trying to head. He said in his introductory press conference today that they're looking for more bigs. That's not to say that Sengun's going straight to the bench. I'm sure they love Sengun, but at the same time, you need more than just him, right? Who's their other big that you can really count on? It makes complete sense. It's nice to feel like there's finally a sense of direction within this franchise. I'm excited to see the growth of Jalen Green, the growth of KPJ, the growth of Sengun as well. When the Rockets drafted Tari Eason and Jabari Smith Jr., I thought that they had 2 wings that will be there for the next 10 to 15 years. That's how good and how confident I am in their two-way ability. I still feel that way. I still feel like those are 2 guys that are bookends that you keep forever, because they offer so much versatility defensively that you're not gonna wanna get rid of that ever. Hopefully, I stop seeing Jabari Smith listed as a center anywhere I look, because to me, he is not that. He is a big forward, and he offers a team so much defensive versatility if he's used right. It's encouraging because Ime just came from Boston, where he had Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. And I look at them to imply a lot of the same defensive principles with Jabari and Tari. Those are 2 guys I am over the moon excited for, and still have faith in that they can be a big time defensive duo. And who better to unlock that than Ime Udoka? I mean, of all the options on the board, this was the only right option. He deserves a second chance just like anybody else does. As long as he didn't do anything that's illegal, I think there's no question he deserves another chance. And I think if it was up to some of the players on the Celtics, they would want Ime back as well. It's not to say Joe Mazzulla is not doing a good job, but it's clear that a lot of guys still have a lot of love for him. So that's encouraging, shows that he earned their respect. And I look forward to him doing that with the Rockets, because this is a team that I don't want to be the laughingstock of the league anymore.